God, it's like just curving right down towards us. It's wild. Yeah. You can just see it. There it is. I used to know how to get rid of this when I was in Zoom land.
Hey, Katie.
Anyway, be careful outside today. I used to know how to get rid of that. Anybody know how to get rid of that?
Rid of what?
The,
The little bar?
the thing, but there's like a keystroke for it, and I forget it. All right, give me one moment. This is gonna bug me.
Dual bar, right?
Oh,
Control W.
that's it. All righty then. Cool. Okay, it's 9 o'clock. We're gonna go get started. I'm sure you guys have lots of things to do today and this week, so I won't belabor it. We do have one person joining us online, which is awesome. I'm going to attempt to do my best to keep track of stuff online. Hopefully you can hear us. Grady, if you're able to hear us, it'd be awesome if you just thumbs up.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you very much. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I'm Simon Pendleton. Hi, Grady. And today it's scientific poster production and presentation. How many of you have to do a poster in the next couple months? How many of you have done a poster before? Okay, excellent. Good mix. Fantastic. I think you guys are all inbreed, correct? Yes, excellent. Okay, I'm technically here on NH Lift this year, but it's all the same, right? It's gonna be great. So today, what are we gonna do? We're gonna talk about brainstorming and reviewing the purpose, goals, and objectives of scientific posters. Like, why are we doing them, right? How are they different from a scientific talk? We're explore some poster examples and report back. Talk about poster basics. Yes, we're gonna talk about color a lot. It's really interesting. Talk a little bit about the poster presentation itself, the ins and outs of that, how it's different from a talk, and the pros and cons, and what to look out for. And then I want to give you your own time to actually start your own poster, right? So you walk out of here with a template already started. So you're that much closer to being done with your poster for the summit, which is coming up for you guys. So, okay. So first thing we want to do, what is the purpose of your scientific poster? Before you even start it, I am that person who will just okay, I'm gonna start making my poster. Before, what I really should do is sit down and say, okay, why am I making this poster? What am I trying to communicate? Who am I trying to talk to, right? So I want you to turn to the person next to you, say good morning, ask them if they've had their coffee yet this morning, check in with them. And then I want you to brainstorm what it is that you want your poster to be able to do at your next conference. What is it, and you could say oh, I need to present my research. That's great. But what is the goal, right? If you're online, feel free to just pop stuff in the chat, or Grady, you can chime in when we share out. So I'll give you a couple moments to say good morning to each other and then come up with one or two purposes for your visitors. And we'll put them up on the screen. Go.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Good.
I like the sandwich. Okay.
Just-
You did. I had a wonderful dream about this.
I have a red.
Yeah, I was diving the seal killed.
Did it have to, like, stop and bring my red one?
Yeah.
Morning.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, for the first time in a while.
Yeah.
So it's like
Digested, like
I wanted to.
3-minute
Talking about have some charts.
What is that you want your poster to do besides just like, I need to present my research?
Yeah, fine. Portray the.
I would like my poster to grab attention.
I'm trying
Yeah.
That's
Gotcha.
also right.
No, we're partnering.
Before I
No,
said
it's
that.
Okay, okay. It's scientific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First off, I wanted to portray what I did and explain
Yeah.
the efficiency of the activities, while also like telling
Yes.
the.
I also my poster to be understood and clear enough for like next year's researchers to build off of. Yeah. It's so difficult because then you also want to balance stuff.
So that's
you
I think that's true.
know.
What the stuff.
Yeah.
Personalize.
Yeah. Okay.
So I get a lot of.
Affect how someone's.
Olympic figure skater.
Oh.
That was
Something you're excited about.
Yeah,
it's like, that's so bad.
Every time I see it on people.
Construction. Okay, really.
Yeah,
That's like
me too.
what it is.
Me too.
Against your teeth.
Like that connection between.
Oh, is it really?
why It's important and what, like. Because
Oh,
I mean, when
yeah.
I was talking about mom.
That's
the
interesting.
first question.
How's your Mario?
This really makes sense.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah, but it did.
Yeah.
But I also feel like.
Oh,
In high school.
that's funny. I'm glad you guys had a good time.
Yeah, but like, you know.
Wow.
So close.
Yeah, you really made out with that.
You're everything. That's cool though.
I did start that smash.
And the microphone was.
I don't really. Is that the one that John was good at?
Yeah.
Your videos like sometimes.
I've only played that game a couple of times.
That was my first one.
Really?
You know, like,
It seems difficult.
get more specific about.
Yeah.
Well, I think a big thing I've taken away is this is very much like a
I think
to help you preventative because
Should have been good.
if we are in research and those things is not.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's a whole thing too.
That's
That's funny. I'm glad you guys did that.
Okay, I don't wanna interrupt people, but I also don't wanna go over time like I did last time, so we're gonna try. So, did people come up with either like big picture or like super specific? I'm looking for both in terms of scientific poster purposes. There's someone who would like to get us started. Olivia?
I would like my poster to grab attention.
Oh, yes. Always a good one. Over here, remind me your name?
Joseph,
Joseph.
communicate the results of your summer research clearly so that others can understand.
Nice. What else? What do you want your poster to be or do? Yes. Remind me your name again.
Eva. Tell like the overall story of your research.
Tell the story. Yes.
I think the poster in general be very clear and concise that people who might want to do research, further research, can understand what you did.
What else?
Can I offer one of yours? He said he wants the poster to communicate what might happen if we don't take action on this. So that's like why it's important. You are very broader impact focused.
Yeah, it was.
And not all of these will apply to like every poster. But yeah, that's in some cases, yeah. So I'm gonna put you on the spot. Emma's working on wildfires, which is very pertinent today. And so, yeah, that there's an element of, okay, well, what can we do with this? How can we address wildfire challenges?
Don't look away. Or else.
Don't look away or
Don't
else.
look away from his poster.
Yeah, oh,
Or you'll
yeah.
be sorry. You'll be on fire.
Other goals and purposes. or what you want your poster to do or be.
To be thought-provoking.
Not provoking. Yeah, feel pretty good about that? I don't know, now I turned off the. Oh, wait. Great, put something in the chat. Let's see, I want to create a poster that will use maps and collected, but yes, super specific, right? You know exactly what you want to put in. Yes, we can go all the way from the broader impact to the big picture of like, how does this change society to, I need to communicate effectively what I did. We have scientists, we have to do both. Okay. So excellent. That's an excellent list. I went ahead and kind of cobbled together my own from various sources around my brain and the internet, but it means of visually summarizing your research in order to efficiently share your findings and prompt discussions, particularly at conferences. That's the one thing that we'll talk about a little later about the format of a poster and how it's kind of different from a talk and how it can be in some ways a lot more useful to you as a researcher to prompt discussions, to give you ideas and help you continue your work, whereas talks may not give that. So some things you want to keep in mind in terms of what your poster can accomplish for you. You want to communicate efficiently and effectively, right? You're going to get a few minutes with people as they stop by your poster, right? You don't have half an hour with every person, so you need to be efficient, but you also need to be effective, right? And that can be a really tough balance to strike sometimes. You want to promote interactive engagement and discussion. That is kind of one of the really cool benefits of a poster is you get to have these very close one-on-one conversations with people and enable wider dissemination and reach of your science, right? Your poster may end up hanging in a hall somewhere, right? Or people, they get posted online after conferences. You want someone to be able to pull up your poster and very quickly get an understanding of what you're doing, the scope of what you're doing, how you're doing it, why you're doing it, right? It's a scientific paper kind of condensed into a 4-foot by 3-foot piece of paper, right? So those are some big picture things we want to keep in mind. And we're going to spend a chunk of time thinking about the like bigger picture, or sorry, not the bigger picture, small picture, the details, right? So what you're going to do, and I've seen many of you already looking at posters in the hallways, so you've probably already done some of this, but what I want you to do is we're going to look at some poster examples. And I want you to, when you do that, find 5 aspects that you find effective or engaging about those posters. And also why you found them engaging, right? What is it about X, Y, and Z that you found out about that poster? And then also I want you 5 aspects that you do differently and why. Notice I didn't say 5 aspects you don't like. Everyone does their posters differently. I have several posters in this hall or in this building that every time I walk by, I'm like, ooh, wish I hadn't done that, right? But 5 aspects that you might do differently on your poster and why, right? So for those of you who are in the room today, we got posters on the 2nd floor and or the 1st and 2nd floor. There's a few on the 3rd floor as well. You probably walk by them every day. And for the folks online, if that QR code should go to a bundle of posters examples, or I can put the link. I'm going to put the link in the chat as well for you. So about 10 minutes-ish, or however much time you need. Bring your piece of paper and a pencil to make notes, or your phone to take notes on, and just go scamper through Boyd for a few minutes. And you can find 5 things that you like, 5 things you might do differently, and why. And they can be like big picture, and they can also be like, that is the most heinous font I've ever seen, and I would never use it. You have to tell me why you wouldn't use it. So I'm looking for the whole scope of things. Okay, so go for it. And then just no more than 10 minutes, but if you finish in like 5 minutes, you just come on back and we'll get going. And I will put that link in the chat, Brady, for you.
Simon.
Did you? Oh shoot! I did the like available to anybody thing link, but maybe not that one. I will. Yeah. Let's just see that. Brady, let me know if that link does not send you to a folder full of posters.
Yeah, it looks like I'm not able to open the page. But let me try something else.
Drive, copy link. You're gonna watch me copy the link. Anyone? Try that one. Oh, wait, sorry, that is the wrong. Oh, I apologize. That's the wrong one. Try this one more time. Okay, third time's the charms.
Okay, I was able to get in now. It was just Teams was blocking me from opening a link.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I sent the link to the slides, but the last one I just put in, the example posters one, should bring you to a folder full of posters.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You think they're stuck in the crab hole?
Maybe. Okay. Every time I have to do my like MFA thing, I wish I got like a 5-cent deposit or something.
Me too.
That would be
It feels so good.
make it like turning bottles.
Yeah. Students last day.
Going into the mountains. Yours? And when Eric sent out the like agreement or whatever in the beginning of summer at the 17th.
One of my students, Katie, she was out for a week with a
with like the
So
same
it's like,
research
I
I'm
have to
doing.
explain it
It's
to
like
you.
really much fun.
Yeah.
I liked that
You're right,
they kept their graphs like the most important one like front and center, so it's like
Yeah.
the first thing.
No.
It took
Just kidding.
pictures, like actual pictures of each different part of the size we're looking for.
It's like
There's like good headings so
back
that you can
somewhere.
easily like find what part. Reading.
Okay.
I think that's it right up there.
Okay.
Oh, that was good.
Sweet. Oh, you guys are all back. Okay, let's do this. Here we go. Ha! So, what did you find? I don't need all 5. I don't need all 10 from everybody. That will be used the entire time. But I would love to hear a couple things that people that stood out to people. And we'll start with the things that they're like, ooh, that's really cool. I'm going to do that on my poster. Yes.
I saw some posters added pictures of the research animal or the experimental setup itself. which I thought of-
Subjects, locations, experiments. Photos tell lots of words. Other things you guys liked when you saw.
I like when people would add color to highlight important parts of their person.
I appreciated like a good heading so I could find my way around the poster.
So well designed titles and headings. And that can be like size, placement, is it in a box? Like so many different things. Yes, yeah. It makes it so much easier to like, oh, I know it. I'm in the method section. I'm in the results section. Exactly. Other things that you liked.
Along with like photos of like physically what the experiment looks like, open diagrams of like the workflow.
Oh, grounds, workflows. Yeah, super useful. Especially when there's an experimental process and someone has no idea, you can like give little pictures and it's like, I had to like put the horseshoe crabs here and then I had to go, my plot outside looked like this. Yeah, excellent. Okay, one more thing. Grady, don't be afraid to chime in if you like.
Oh, I just threw something in the chat.
Oh, you did? Sorry, I'm really
Oh, no.
bad at looking at it.
Yeah. No worries.
Ooh, mixed charts with images. Nice. So data and like what it actually like, here's a bunch of data on horseshoe crabs and here's a photo of that actually what you're looking at is super helpful for an audience member. Yeah. So mixing / joining.
Collaging.
Yeah, collaging data and imagery. Cool. Okay. Now, things you're like, I might not do that on my poster. Yes.
One poster had so many words that looked more like a paper, and their graphs in response to that were so small you couldn't really read them. So just
You want them to. Yeah, exactly. Yes, you had your hand up.
There was one poster, they just had a bunch of different panels, and I think I would have grouped them better. The results were, it just like didn't flow the way I would like it to flow. Yeah, the results were all split up and not together, and some of them were in this column, and then you had like some over on the other side, and I don't know, it was just
Organization
yeah.
and flow. Yeah, how does the eye track and what's the natural, like, if you're looking at the poster, how can you guide your audience member through it kind of gently, right, without them trying to like find stuff? There's another hand.
I saw a poster that had a lot of like differing text sizes, like by panel,
Oh,
where it would either be really tiny and a lot of text in one spot and really big, not a lot of text in a different spot. And it's just makes it kind of
yeah. We will talk a little about fonts. There is such thing as too many different fonts and too many sizes. Though you can use different font sizes to convey emphasis and help guide your reader. Too many is too many. Okay, excellent. Other things? Yes, Eva.
Choosing colors with like low contrast to each other. It like hurts to look at. There's one that's like light green and white. And it's like whoever did that.
I mean, everyone's eyes are different,
It's true.
but
it's true.
as the poster maker, we'll talk about this. It's
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
see
exactly.
anything.
We're gonna talk about it. Excellent. In the back.
Oh, I just felt like there was a few with like a lot of dead space, like a lot of,
Oh, too much dead space?
yeah,
White space?
like you want some gaps between your sections, but like you don't want the poster to feel like empty because then it sort of looks a little bit less like serious.
True,
There's like a
but
mix.
you also don't want it super close together also, because then it hurts to try and look at it.
There's like a balance of
There's
density,
a balance,
that's right.
and every poster is different too. I have had different sizing depending on my content, really. Excellent. Grady, did you have too much information? Text and images too small and cramped. You got it. So too much content. Less is more, generally speaking, with posters. That's like a really big kind of thing that I look at. Anything else that people noticed that they wanted to? Okay. All right. In the interest of time, I will continue on, so you actually have time to start at the end. Okay. So, this is a poster of mine that I made recently. So instead of picking on someone else, we're going to pick on me today. So I figured I'd throw one of mine up here. And what I wanted to first was just kind of give some examples, give some basics. We're going to go through the components, and basically this is the part where I get to tell my opinion about how I do posters and what I think, but I'll also try and fold in a bunch of content that I pulled from other sources about like good practices you might want to avoid, and why you do certain things on a poster, etc. So first of all, just some real basics for the poster, right? You want a title, right? Sometimes titles are too long, sometimes they are too short. It's a balance, right? What do you want? You want your poster title to be engaging, right? You can also convey in your title basically your results, right? But then sometimes it gets kind of long. Radiocarbon analyses from recently exposed landscapes on Baffin Island reveals heterogeneous and intermittent Holocene glacier fluctuations. Probably too long, right? I packed like my entire results into that title. So on one hand, someone reads that, especially if there's someone who's kind of working in my field, they're immediately going to be like, okay, I know what he's talking about. Someone who's outside my field is going to be just like, what is happening, right? So I kind of made a choice there of like, well, the only people who are going to come by my poster are probably people that I know and who work in my field, so I'm going to cater to them in this case. But short is also good as well, right? And then usually your author's underneath them, and then typically you'll have little super text or numbers associated with the institutions that they're at, followed by your author information. And then always good times to have your logos up there. Again, probably put too many in there, but what are you gonna do? And then, yeah, I went with a pretty classic poster, left to right in the Western style, right? Introduction, study area, my approach and methods, and then the big, right, results and kind of, in this case, I had to do some like modeling right in the middle, and then discussion over here, conclusions, right? So 3 columns moving across. Now, personally, if I would do this again, I would have much less text. Apparently I had a lot to say. This one is tricky because we had a lot of modeling that happened, and it was like, how do I condense like all my modeling methods into like one paragraph? But I tried to include some photos, I tried to include some diagrams, tried to include some maps, but probably too much content in this one if I were to do it again, right? So those are the kind of the basic elements. We're going to run through a couple of things you want to think about before you start your poster, right? So check the poster guidelines from the institution or conference, right? Before you even start, right? Make sure like, if there are requirements, like it has to be landscape, it has to be portrait, like they can't be more than 6 feet long. et cetera, right? Know that before you start. It's very hard to change your poster size after the fact. There may be requirements for font, colors, and also logo usage. Typically not in the conferences I've gone to. It's kind of just like they need, like, you have this much space to play with, go nuts, right? But do always check that for every conference before you go, just to make sure you're starting with the format you need to. Know the submission date, right? Posters take a long time. Honestly, posters are harder to put together than talks are, in my opinion. You just have to like spend a lot of time in Illustrator or PowerPoint or something, and you're like moving little boxes around and playing with fonts and colors. So they take a lot of time. So make sure you give yourself that time. So basically know your submission date and work back from that. Typically, there's also an abstract submission date, and then there's like the actual conference. So keep those both in mind as well. Who's your audience? What kind of conference are you going to? And IMBRE is going to be your fellow peers, right? There are going to be faculty there. There'll be kind of some staff from USNH, but it's going to be largely your peers, right? Whereas we're going to go to a conference later this this fall. That's a big geology conference of people doing everything from like mineral extraction to climate to modeling to metamorphic petrology, et cetera, right? So you might make your poster different for those two audiences, right? If in Emmett's case, sorry, I'm going to pick on you again. If I was going to go to a wildfire conference, I would make my poster differently than if I was going to a broad earth science conference where they're talking about everything, right? I might change my title, right? So know your audience, right? How much detail do you want to put in there, right? Maybe if I'm going to a more general conference, I'm going to have less text and more images, right? Who knows? Also know what you're going to put in your poster. Many times, by the time I submit my abstract, my research isn't done. And I have put in abstracts before, like, we'll present the data at the conference, like, we'll let you know. And most of the time it comes through, which is great. But yeah, those are some things you want to think about before you get going, okay? I just struggled with like how to like organize all this because there's just like things that come up about posters. So I tried to kind of just throw it in here, but starting kind of big picture, and then we'll get into some of the nitty gritty. Ask questions as I go. Don't be afraid to stop me. I'm trying to like move through this to give you guys some time to get through this. Okay, talked about these already a little bit. They came up in your comments. Keeping margins and padding consistent. This is like kind of a weird thing, but when you have spacing between your columns, if you're doing that, it is really, for me at least, it's very weird to look at a poster where like the space over here is like different from the space over here. It's just like your eye goes to it immediately, right? So I spend a lot of time making sure that these spaces are exactly the same. So making sure that padding is consistent. Using a grid can be really helpful, right? So making sure that like all your boxes are lined up this way as well, right? The human eye, like if it's a pixel off, you'll be standing there looking at the poster and just being like, something's wrong. Like, I don't know what it is, but something, and you'll notice it. Using different ways of highlighting different sections of importance, right? Like maybe the results or the conclusion is like, if you're gonna look at anything, like look at this one, right? You can use color or contrast to do that. Text hierarchy, we'll talk about this basically from like your main title down to your headings, your body text, and then like figure captions. And then also if you have like acknowledgements and or references, oftentimes people will like shrink the text down, right? Not because they're less important, but because they want to leave space for her. And then figures as well. Those can be tricky. You may have to play with sizing to get the figures to fit with all the other content that you have. You'll notice in my poster here, right, column figures, landscape, making them slightly different sizes to fit legends. It's tricky. You have to spend some time kind of just like playing layout. So if you've ever done any like work in InDesign with Adobe InDesign, like you're gonna love this. Okay, things you want to avoid if you can, rounded corners or sections. It just looks a little weird sometimes. Gradients or patterns as background. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Someone already said this, too many fonts, right? Drop shadows in word art. Just don't do it. and then logos with non-transparent backgrounds. Okay. Layout. Make sure you check the size before you go. Common sizes, 36 by 48 inches, 3 feet by 4 feet. Landscape orientation. I've made bigger posters and they're kind of unwieldy. I have to like walk to the other side of the poster as I'm giving the poster, and that can be a little weird. 2 to 4 columns is common. 3 is probably the most common, but I don't want you to feel like I have to do 3 columns. Like, it's your content, it's your story, it's your research. Pick the layout that works the best for you. And that might be across and down, it might be up and down, could be totally different, right? Depending on basically your figures and content, that should really guide how you want to lay it out. This is the classic 3-column intro, methods, results, conclusions, acknowledgements layout. It works, it's great, but don't feel tied to that. Okay, design, simple is good, right? Make important information stand out. Please line things up, right? Don't make it crowded. Don't make it crowded, right? When you look at this, if you were to walk up to this poster and if you don't work in this particular field, you're going to be overwhelmed. Like, there's too much text here, right? There's too many plots, right? And over here, I have jammed so much information into here, right? Now, here's the kicker. Like, if you work in Arctic paleoclimate, like, you know exactly what each of these 3 records here without even looking, because everyone uses them, right? But someone who doesn't work in this is going to be totally confused, right? So less is more, right? Backgrounds, keep it non-distracting. When you have posters that have photos or images or gradients or patterns in the background, it can be very distracting. Not to say you can't use them, but be very cognizant of how you use them, right? Your emphasis is on your content. Like, don't distract people if you don't have to, okay? Cool. All right. Titles, fonts, and font size. Generally, there's no hard and fast rule. But I like rules, and I like someone give me guidance. And so there are some guidance out there on it. And so I'm just giving you these are some of the kind of, not rules, but this is some of the guidance that I use, and it seems to work really well, and it keeps it consistent for me. There is no rule about serif versus non-serif fonts. Use whatever you like. Oftentimes, people will make the titles and headings a different font than your body text, which is something I would never have thought of. Like, I'd be like, oh, make it all the same font. But it actually does look really good sometimes. So here are some combinations that people will often use. As for font size, these right here are some good guidance here. Your main title is 85 point, authors are at 56, headings 36, body 24, and then captions 18. You don't have to adhere to these exactly, but these give you a nice starting point. And whatever you pick, just be consistent. Right? So make sure every heading is 42. Right? Don't switch it up. Line spacing, 1.25 to 1.5. Actually, again, it's up to you and how much text you have. But jammed together single space can be crowded. Okay. Ooh, colors. Yes. Okay, so you guys brought this all up. You're very well aware of it, right? Don't do this. This hurts my eyes. It kills me, right? For many reasons. One, as far as I know, I don't have color blindness, and I can't look at this. It burns my retinas, right? So there's lots of other things you want to do. So color is really important. Color, right? First of all, we want to make your posters accessible to everybody who don't have color deficiency or do have color deficiency. And it's also super helpful for adding emphasis, highlighting information, drawing people's attention to one particular piece of your poster. Super, super important, right? So a couple of things you keep in mind. Typically, you want to choose colors from opposing sides of the color wheel to avoid color deficiency issues. Also, using saturation and lightness to emphasize data, results, variables, that can be really good. It's a little bit simpler and cleaner than trying to use hue, right? This is like the jet ramp, the bane of everyone's existence if you've ever like used MATLAB or anything like that. Like it's terrible. So you want to apply the right kind of coloring or color scheme to your data and to your maps, right? Over here are some combinations of colors that I've used in the past. I've been a fan of this one. I like this blue. It's really nice. I've told myself on my next poster though I have to pick something different because I've used that too many times. Right, but having kind of some consistency amongst your titles and headings, and then having accent colors either in your panels or in the background, and keeping it consistent. I don't know about that one. I'm a little bit uncertain about that one.
I don't think the print shop would be very appreciative.
No, I don't think they would either. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I use like the dark theme on my computer a lot. Feel like it's a little easier on my eyes, but in a poster setting, that would be, I mean, your poster would stand out in the poster hallway, that's for sure. Okay. One interesting thing, there is a website called Viz Palette, where you can put in your suite of colors that you'd like to use on your poster, and it will basically run not a calibration, but it will show you what different types of color deficiencies will look like with your palette of colors, right? So in this case, if you're choosing, you got a red, blue, yellow, green, and a gray, right? If you have no color deficiency, this is what your content might look like. If you do have, in this case, red, green color deficiency, this is what it looks like. This is super helpful. When I first started, I was like, cool, red, green, they contrast, right? No, they don't. So this is a really cool website you can use to kind of check your colors if you like. There's also a lot of other websites out there that will give you palettes of colors that are really good. Just look nice, and also they are accessible as well. And I have links to those in this PowerPoint. Okay. Alignment and white space. It's already came up a little bit more, but again, if things are slightly out of line, you will notice it. So you have the align tools in like PowerPoint and Illustrator. Those can be really helpful. Note that you can also lock objects, right? So if you have a panel that you're like, I want this to stay here, you can lock it in place so that you can't, like, you don't accidentally like drag it or move it, which I find very useful. That was all I wanted to say about this. What I've done in the past is I'll actually have my template and then I'll make a box that is a 1/2 inch smaller on every side inside my template, and then I'll align all of my content to that box. And that basically gives me a 1/2 inch margin, and then I just delete the box at the end of when I make my poster. And that allows me, because then I can align my boxes to that big box, and then also making sure I keep this spacing consistent as well. You could go 1 inch probably on the margin. Any more, it starts to like get too much white space, I think. But again, oftentimes I will like print out a little like 11 by 17 or 8.5 of my poster at small size just to kind of like look at it in person, even though it's not technically 100%. Gives me a sense of what my layout looks like. Okay, so thinking about all that, what would you suggest I do to this poster to make it better? Don't be shy. We've already pointed out several deficiencies. If you were to like make this again or like tell me what to do, what would you want me to do?
Well, I don't understand your title, so maybe change the title.
I love it. Yeah, I agree. Run it.
Either less text or bigger text.
Less text or bigger text? I agree. It blends together. Yeah. Yep. And this is like bigger than it actually would be on paper too. I saw another hand somewhere. Yeah.
Sharpen your corners.
I know, right? I used the round boxes. Yeah. I will say,
I like soft edges.
I should have said this at the beginning. All the information I'm telling you is either from my personal experience or I pulled from sources that are other people's personal experience. Because I should have said at the beginning, at this point, I was like, I like the round boxes. I've gone back and forth. I've done sharp edges. I've done round edges. Everything I'm telling you, except for maybe like the color deficiency stuff, it's personal preference. In the end, it's your poster. So I'm telling you all this stuff. Take it, use it, don't use it. These are things to think about as you go. Okay. One more thing to help me make this poster better.
Your first set of figures in the top center kind of, they feel really cramped together.
These?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
This was a doozy. There was like field work, lab work, and modeling. So as you can see, I struggled to like, oh God. And then there was a bunch of like, oh, I need to show all this other data that people have done to compare. It got out of hand. And I absolutely agree. Do you want to share your?
I don't know what you could do differently, but the references being all there and all super teeny tiny. I don't know how else you could do that. I've seen people do QR codes that link to all their references.
Yeah.
It's extra space.
Yeah, I was gonna say the QR code thing.
So I will say the QR code is nice, it's clean, it's simple. However, and I go back and forth on this, right? Because this is technically, when you submit a poster, this is a published peer review, not in like the, like I went out and got, blind edits and reviews at a journal, but this is a published piece of work with references, right? So if I put a QR code in down there, down the line, if that QR code breaks, especially if you're using, in this case, I'm using superscripts to do my references, right? So if that QR code breaks, then that superscript is just, it's like a number and like, I have no idea where it goes. So I absolutely, I don't like the way this looks either, but I wanted to make sure that like push comes to shove, the reference is on there. 10 years from now, if someone's looking at this poster, you can be like, oh yeah, number 6 is Koner et al. 2005. I don't really know what the solution is, but maybe Diana has it.
Yeah, I have some creative solutions for this. So there is a way to do shorthand in the same way that you do in-text citations, and you say like Smith and Roberts, 1980, whatever. Just add then the abbreviation for your journal and that information without having the title in there at all.
So you're saying shorten the
Yep.
the bibliographic citation,
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that the title is not in there.
or
So
you
that-
like the first 2 words of the title and like dot.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can shorten those up. And then the second thing is, you can also run them together. So Dr. Pendleton has them all listed linearly with the number at the beginning. You can actually delete the hard returns.
Yes.
And run them together and bold the author's names so that anywhere you see a bold is the beginning of another citation. So that's another option. Mind you, the reason I know this is because a lot of times for grant proposals, you have to save space. And they're like 2-page grant proposal with like references included. So you learn all these tricks to like compactorize your references section. So that's that. Yeah.
That was excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Not too sure about that. Okay, I know I'm running over again. I always do this. Terrible. Couple things about the actual presentation, right? Duration. Typically, they're like 2 to 4 hours long, the poster sessions, right? It's in the morning or in the afternoon, give or take. Talks, on the other hand, are about 12 minutes, plus or minus, right? So they're really different lengths. So a couple of things, right? You want to wear conference appropriate clothing, right? Some conferences are a little bit more fancy than others. So I, defer to the etiquette for that particular conference, but you definitely want to wear comfortable shoes because you're going to be standing for a long time. Right? Stay hydrated, but not too much, right? You don't want to have to be like running to the restroom all the time and missing out on conversation. Don't come hungry. Eat your lunch, eat your breakfast, like bring snacks. I have done poster sessions where I like missed lunch because I was having a meeting with colleagues and it was not good. Right. So take care of yourself because you're there for a long time. You'll likely have hundreds, if not thousands, of other posters and presentations around you, depending on the conference. Some are bigger than others. It can be really overwhelming. It can be loud. So yeah, it's a challenging environment sometimes. The one thing I would say is that practicing your poster presentation beforehand, right? You have control over that. So practicing that presentation, practicing your pitch as you guide people through it is going to make that a little bit easier. It'll make kind of background noise a little bit easier to deal with. Interactions. Poster sessions are much more personal. you can have several one-on-one conversations rather than you talking at an audience as I'm doing right now, right? Where you don't get as much feedback potentially, right? You might have people that know your work really well. You might have people who don't know your work really well, and you get to have a one-on-one conversation with them. So with that in mind, to make use of that, you want to prepare a concise but engaging rundown of your poster, right? You don't want to spend 30 minutes with every person, right? You want, a couple minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, to get through your poster, right? And then use your poster, right? Use the boxes, use the organization, your figures, your data, your conclusions, right? Guide them through it, and then leaving room for engagement and questions. I have been guilty of this before. I spend all this time making this poster, and then I kind of just like talk, and I don't actually like point at my figures and like use my poster. It can get really tricky. But practice, practice, practice. Practice with your roommates. Practice by yourself, right? Just like, what are you gonna say, right? You don't want it to go too long, too short, and then leaving space for people to ask questions, which is like, I think one of the coolest parts of a poster session. You just get way more engagement, you get people asking questions, you get people giving you ideas, right? You're gonna learn a lot, and you might walk away with a lot more than you would with a talk, honestly. Okay. Well, I tried, didn't do very well, but here we go. I wanted to make this available to you. I pulled a lot of information from these websites here. The overall guide to making posters, which I find it actually pretty useful. It's pretty clean and put together. They have templates already made for you if you want to use those, which are great. There's more templates here, found another site. There's a specific article on color palettes, especially for accessible color palettes. Another one on color palettes. This one's actually kind of funny. And then I found some other ones recently, which I thought were really funny. How to make an ugly poster, right? So we talked about how to make a good poster. This is it's a science blog about how to make an ugly poster. So I found that actually useful. And then an introvert's guide to surviving a poster session, which is really good. They definitely used a lot of AI to make these figures, but it can be really helpful, right? Talking about how do you stand with your poster, which I never really thought about before, right? But there's the like, I'm gonna stand and be silent and wait for someone to show up to me. There's the like, I'm gonna stand right in front of my poster and like block it, like don't look at my science. And apparently what you're supposed to do is like kind of stand in front of it and like look at it a little bit, like off to the side. I know, I didn't know this. Every conference is different. But it can be kind of awkward because you'll be talking to someone and then someone else will come up and they'll kind of just like stand there waiting for their turn. So kind of like you have to be a little bit aware of like who's around you. Yeah, it can be kind of interesting. What else did they have? Oh yeah, point. So I always forget to do. Use your poster. This blog also has some other things about science and poster presentations, which are pretty fun. Okay. That was all I had. I was gonna give you a bunch of time to start and I apologize. But these three right here can be really useful, especially they're pre-made downloadable PowerPoint templates in the like 36 by 48 orientation and lots of different formats. Or you can just start fresh in PowerPoint and you can set the size of your slide to be 36 by 48. You guys know how to do that? Just go to like page setup. So if I go to PowerPoint real quick.
Can you also show how to add the guides? I feel like people don't know that. You right click on the poster to add a guide that you were talking about earlier.
Sorry. These ones, the templates?
No, like the guidelines to.
Oh, yes, yeah, I do.
Okay, I
So,
think people know about that.
yeah, so I'm gonna make a new poster, right? I come in here and, I'm always on a Mac, so this is gonna be really embarrassing because I don't know how to do it on a PC. It's gonna be,
You got it home.
is it home? And then I need to format my slide. Oh, God. This is where, yeah. Does anybody know how to do?
Reading guides.
So there are grids and
So
guides.
that's where you add the guides, and you can add as many horizontal and vertical ones as you want.
Yeah.
So like set them up and then don't quit. Just leave them
They add horizontal and vertical, as
Put a
many as
bunch
you want,
in,
and they
yeah.
give you inches. Where's
Is it
the?
under design?
is under design. Thank you.
Is it? I don't know.
I think you're,
Slide size.
thank you.
Custom.
There we go. Yeah, so it's gonna be landscape and let's see, width is gonna be 48, height is 36. That's fine.
I didn't let you put the numbers in.
Oh, did it not?
Oh, but
I
it
think
changed.
we're good. I mean, you're not gonna notice.
Oh, okay. Is your number?
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. There you go. Yeah, maximize. So it doesn't change that much, but now it's 36. So when you save this as a PDF and you send it to get printed, the PDF is 48 by 36, which is really handy. And then you can add content to your heart's content. There are the templates that are pre-made should be already the right size. Yeah, so there's all sorts of different templates, colors. Sometimes these are useful, but there is value in starting fresh also, because this is gonna maybe lock you into a color scheme that you don't really like, right? But they're also nice to,
Oh,
Give
what
you
are
some
the
ideas.
names? Pondering Peacock?
yeah, they're pretty great.
Okay.
Someone had a lot of fun with this. So there are those templates there. And it is just about 10, so I'm gonna stop. I apologize, I didn't give you time to actually start your own. I'm happy to stick around for a few minutes if you guys wanna do that, but you probably have experiments to do. I did email out the slides to everyone, so you should have access to them and all the links. Work with your advisors. Oh, and then I think you guys probably already know this, but I believe I was told that the INBRE 17-18 summit, your submissions for posters and abstracts is due by July 27th, I believe. Okay. Lift is due by August 4th for the 12-13. Thank you all very much. Appreciate your willingness to do this on an early Wednesday. Thank you, Grady.
Thank you.
Good for you.
Are you
Practice.
around all day? Or are you?
I want to try
Okay,
and
cool. Yeah,
get as
we could
many
chat
people to
about.
correct.
Yes, I was,
Yeah,
I know you
I
told me
think
that.
that would be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, no, just want to touch base about the title and.
Yeah,
No,
Check,
like-
if that's what you have to submit. And I'd love to, you and Maggie to be able to submit your NH to the poster. Like submission, would you need a title abstract and get that done before the end of the week, then like.
Okay.
Thanks,
Sweet, thank you.
That'd be great. Cool.